Let me say something else. The father's rights movement will advise you to hand your child over to a child molester. Let me explain this. These father's rights movement groups have Facebook pages that are run by a guy who just started a group or a chapter in a state, and he got his rear handed to him in court and got destroyed and lost. So you're going to get advice, and people post questions in there, and they got 20 different sets of advice from 20 different losers who lost in court. Now, the reason I know this is because for years, I would go on these pages and say, hey, I won in contempt. You should do a contempt motion. And guys would come in, I lost contempt. You can't win. You can't do that. It'll look bad. And all this loser advice. And I forgot to mention, I didn't mention in the video, there's a guy, 50/50 Dad. He does a whole bunch of videos and memes that he steals from other people. And I reached out to him. I said, you got a big audience. Do you help dads who are in positions where they're struggling to win in court and stuff? He goes, yeah, I try and give him some advice. And I said, I won in court and I've been in and out of court. Would you like to talk or collaborate? Which is stuff that none of these guys ever do because they don't want any hard hitting. Let's be aggressive. Let's get on the offensive. Let's go to war. They want simp, whiny, cry, feminine. Let's just play real nice type of stuff because it's too hard to act like a real man and grow up here and fight. So the 50/50 dads guy, he just ignored me after that. Because I think he has like 100,000 people following him on Instagram, tens of thousands on TikTok. He likes the attention. I just saw a mother out there who got her kids taken away, and it looks like she loves the attention that she's getting from all this stuff. This stuff is not fun. It's not glorious. It's work, and it's ugly, and it's blood, sweat, and tears on my end, because I'm helping guys fight and win. These guys just steal other people's videos and repost them, like I said, and get popular because everybody is sad and hurting, and misery loves company. So when you post a meme saying, this is how bad men are hurting, and you say, yeah, I'm hurting, but then they're left with nothing because you don't give them a solution to go rescue their kids or get custody or get 50/50. Except we're waiting and holding our breath for the father's rights movement after 25 years of doing nothing. Oh, we're really going to get 50/50. We're really going to get shared parenting. We're really going to get Title 4D removed. Now, maybe with all the government cleanup and Doge, maybe that will happen for the Title 4D because all that stuff's totally unconstitutional. But that's not going to stop the family courts and Superior Court of elected judges from stealing your money. So let's get to how the father's rights movement advises fathers to send their kids off to pedophiles. I was on the Father's Rights Movement Idaho group. I got on there. This dad said, my baby's mom has a boyfriend. He's molesting my daughter. I'm afraid to send her back to the mom because the boyfriend is going to keep molesting her. This dad gets under this boat. Now listen very carefully. This is what these guys are about. They let a bunch of losers run amok on Facebook and give dads bad advice while Mark Ludwig strokes himself saying, look at me, I'm getting attention. I'm on videos and I'm on all over the world going to meetings to change 50/50 shared parenting, and corrupt judges still do their corrupt thing. So this is Idaho. Father's Rights Movement page on Facebook. Any numbnuts can say, hey, I want to be a Father's Rights Movement group leader. They're like, yeah, let's start the chapter there. We don't care that you're a loser, that you lost in court. You know what the hell you're doing? So the dad says, my child's getting molested. I don't want to send her back after my weekend. This dad gets on there and says, you have to, you will get in trouble. It's a crime to not send your kid back. And I got on there. I said, oh yeah? What's the crime? I tell all you guys to say, use that question, where do you get that from? When you have the question, where do you get that from? You call everybody's bluff, especially if they say, oh, I got it from this TV show or this doctor or this lawyer or this police officer. Okay, where did they get it from? Oh, I don't know. I just blindly trusted whatever they said. When you ask, where do you get that from? That forces the person to back up what they're saying. So this dad comes on and says, in Idaho, there's a law against keeping your kid. You could go to jail. You have to give your kid back. So I said, oh, yeah? Where's that law? Or what's the law? Where do you get that from? It took the guy like 20 minutes to come back. He didn't even know what he was talking about because he read a headline of a law somewhere. So he shared a link with this law. Then you know what I did? I actually went and read the law. And it's only a few paragraphs. And it says if you withhold a child from a parent for whatever reason and you do it this period of time, you could get charged with this crime. And then there's like 3 more sentences. The last sentence on there that this guy never read says, unless you're doing it to protect the safety of the child. This dad of Idaho, father's rights movement, is so stupid. He advised this guy to give the kid back to the mom where her boyfriend was molesting his daughter. Give the kid back to a child molester. Why? Because the law says you can't keep your kid. And then when I read that law, all this guy did was read the headline. When I read that law, it said there's an exception. If you're trying to protect the safety or welfare of a kid, this law doesn't apply to you. So within that law that he was citing was an exception that the dad needed to keep the kid. I don't know what happened after that. That was a few years ago. I hope the dad didn't listen to that idiot. But that idiot was so dumb, the father's rights movement, this is common. And I've seen case after case and statement after statement and piece of legal advice after legal advice posted in the father's rights movement groups because these guys don't know what the hell they're doing. They're guys who lost in court. And all they're doing is trying to pass a law so that the law will rescue them. Because these guys don't have the balls to fight on their own. They want somebody to just do it for them. We want mommy to serve it up for us. We want somebody else to rescue us. We want a law that says we don't have to work for it. We automatically get it. So they're sitting around while they're not seeing their kids, waiting for this law to pass. And I've watched this for 20 years. I had a guy, I was posting, I was telling guys, why don't you go? So anyway, back to that, the molester guy. I called him out and I said, you didn't even read the whole law. And then he never got back to me and I never heard a reply from the other guy. So hopefully the guy didn't send his kid back to the mom whose boyfriend was molesting the daughter. But that's what these idiots do. They see a law, they don't even read it. They get scared to death. They crap their pants like a bunch of little biatches. And they turn around and give like I said, if you just go on one of those pages and watch when somebody poses a question, there's 20 different answers from 20 different numbnuts. When I've gone on there and said, do contempt, the guys say, you can't do contempt. I tried it and I lost. Well, try it again. And then just like if a prosecutor prosecutes somebody for a carjacking and they turn them around and set them back out on the street, then the prosecutor will ask for a harder sentence and they'll go harder this time. And then they'll say he did it again and he did it again. And now there's no stopping him. We have to put him in jail. There's plenty of arguments for contempt when somebody continues to do it and the court's order, you better not do that anymore. I'm not going to find you contempt, but don't do it anymore. Then the court's orders are totally moot. So you tell the court, what's the purpose of your order or your existence? So I guess I don't have to pay child support because you're not going to find her in contempt of my visitation. So you must not care about child support. And love is a billion times more important than money. So you obviously don't care about, but they will care because they do care about their child support. But see, these guys don't think of these arguments because they don't have common sense. God gave a monkey. They're out here telling dads to send their kids off to child molesters. And so when I've gone on there and said, do contempt, do this and that, I did a reconsideration and it worked. I did this and it worked. There's one guy who was a total hater because he didn't like me saying the stuff that I won. You're bragging. I'm telling the truth. I won because I fought the right way. And so have thousands of other dads when they grow some balls. Then he hated my guts. And he's out protesting. And he's out with the signs, dads are people too. Help us. We're daddies. And please honk if you love dads. As if that's good. I said, these protests don't do anything. I'm out here protesting and putting judges' names, home addresses, driver's license, birth date, and case numbers and saying they placed a child with a blind mom who got the child burned. Seeing dad is every other weekend worse parent than the blind mom. Or this judge gave kids to a mom with a registered sex offender boyfriend. And I embarrass them and they start changing their mind. These guys, dads are people too, protest signs. Go on my YouTube channel and type in the word protest on the search. Or go on YouTube and type in how I got custody, protest. And watch my 3 or 4 videos on how I protest like a real man. So the guy who's one of my number one critics that was on there, he would start following me around and start criticizing me. He has 0 visitation with his kids, and I have had custody of my daughter since she was 7 months old. How can a hater hate on somebody who won something that they want? You want your kid. You got nothing. You hate me because I got my kid because I won. This is the type of sellout group this is, filled with a bunch of losers who do nothing for men.